In the top left-hand side, we'll start off with the blue Protoss player. This is Dragon Kaisi Gaming's herO, taking on the red Terran from the Shopify Rebellion, ByuN. Super random off-topic question. Am I planning to play the new OSRS League? Yes, I will be. Looking forward to it. That should be fun. Should be very fun. Alright, super random question time is over. Let's kick ourselves off into this ByuN herO best of 5 and see what's going to happen. Hello, Ellie. Ellie's lingering around my feet today, guys. I'm not really sure what's up, what she wants, but she's just lingering around, so... He's having a wild time, I guess. There's a couple of refineries coming up, getting things set here. Just for the first few moments. Again, nothing too crazy just yet. And a probe just scouting around. Refinery coming up. Getting a little bit of setup here for a few moments. Nothing too wild. Just to get us started. Nice, simple, easy beginnings. That's all you need nice and early on. Nice and simple, nothing too crazy. Obviously, Zealot on the way, though, so that is going to start getting interesting, at least on the side of herO, as there is the barracks on the way on the other side from ByuN, so he has proxied his Reaper, so herO playing nice and standard, but ByuN wants to kind of say a little bit otherwise, essentially. Reaper just about to finish up. And we do have the Reaper just diving in, just looking for a little bit of initial damage. Just trying to see what it is that it can get done. And it's going to find two probes, so the Zealot will have to be played defensively. And now the Reaper just getting chipped through is going to take a lot of damage. So that is going to just get pushed back, but obviously successful start. That's already very good damage dealt. No complaints there in the early stages. I think you're very happy to be able to do anything along those lines is pretty great, so... yeah, pretty great start. There's a few probes have gone down. Some SCVs were getting nibbled over here, but nothing too major, apparently. Looks as though that's pretty well dealt with. And now two Reapers together may look to try and get something done in the next few moments, so we'll keep our eyes on whether they will or will not be able to find some aggression, find some value. Popping over the other side, just getting a little bit more damage done right away. And the Reaper's now just pulling back away over this edge instead. Two Reapers together, going to go after the Adepts, and again, just getting a little bit more out of this. We don't really want to lose a Reaper, but we will lose one, and the Adepts could probably shade on top of the other, as that was a little lag spike, so hopefully that's not affecting the players or anything too much. That did seem like one that might have been felt by them, but at the end of the world, they didn't mention it at least, and obviously wasn't super long either, so some saving graces perhaps in case that is something of an issue. Two Cyclones on the way out, so ByuN going to use some Cyclones to get aggressive in these early stages. Really wants to set up with these then, really wants to try and get something out of it. Which I guess is not too surprising, all things considered. Cyclones can still be pretty good early in the game. He's going to have a few of them then to utilize. Let's see if he can make good use of them. Like I say, over these next few moments, we'll figure out if it's going to be good or not. Tank coming up. Phoenix on the way. Let's just have our robo facility building as well. So here we're showing us a little bit of the Phoenix into the, well, obviously into the robo facility, into the most likely Colossus here. Seems to be the game plan at first. So set up a little bit for that right from the start. Obviously, as the Phoenix count grows, you're going to get into a safer and safer position. Generally, the Phoenix are very good at keeping you safe, very good at keeping you in a very okay spot. The Oracle shows up for a little bit of damage right there, so it just goes for a couple of hits, nothing too major either. And now this larger army starting to move out onto the map, actually. Could be an interesting one to watch. Little Revelation goes down, keeps an eye on a few of those Marines. And again, the Phoenix and the Immortal still joining up over here, just trying to see a little bit of what else is still happening. Have our Marines and the Cyclones coming through as well. And making their way out into the center. Phoenix going to take a couple shots here. The Cyclones getting a few hits off, pushing those back slightly. And this army's still from ByuN just wandering around, trying to figure out what it is exactly it wants to get up to. What does it want to achieve? As we push across the map, obviously would love to get rid of a few of these Phoenix or so. As we actually do get a little bit of a stim in, does herO have the numbers to defend? This is actually a pretty important question right now. There's one of these pushes that hits at a good timing where it's just before the Colossus is ready. There's definitely one of those interesting moments where nothing is really a guarantee just yet. Nothing is really a guarantee. The Phoenix continue through. You have this army then just going to retreat back. The Phoenix are going to try and counterattack and look for a little bit of damage over there, but will not really go too successful or anything, so nothing really gained of that. And just seeing the Phoenix still being kept at bay just for the moment. The longer you keep them back, I think the better off you're going to be here. It's definitely a scary concept if those Phoenix show up on the other side and start to really get some damage done. It could turn into quite a problem. Phoenix going to dive in. They dive for a couple of SCVs. As ByuN finishes up some of the final touches to his kind of his upgrades and so on, maybe things will start to look a little bit better here, perhaps. So Phoenix actually recalling back as well. A little bit of a dangerous moment, arguably. Actually, a fairly dangerous moment, all said and done. I mean, that was a lot of units just kind of, you know, stuck there. And obviously, the more Phoenix you lose, the worse off you're going to be generally, given time. So you want to be a little bit cautious about that for sure, at the very least. Tanks get set up. Now ByuN's kind of hitting on the left-hand side, so changing his angle of attack. A couple of tanks will unsiege. You'll see the Colossi still looking to come through here. A couple of shots will take out a Widow Mine. This is a bit of a starting point. We're still just sat here and waiting to see where things will go. We got our Phoenix lifting up its siege tank or so, and we have ourselves the Colossi continue to push forward. This tank gets lifted again. It's going to get taken down now, drop back into place. I mean, this is what herO needs to do, just slowly but surely dismantle his way through this position. The more easily he can do this, the better off he should typically find himself. As you do see our Phoenix still making their way around the bottom side then. So once again, just looking to counterattack, even just hunting reinforcements, right, is the kind of thing that can do very well for you in these kind of situations. It's the kind of thing you want to be doing all the way throughout, as we do find ourselves a few Marines right there. A Widow Mine going to get picked off as well, so that is also going to make for a pretty good little snag. And anytime you find stuff like that, you're generally feeling pretty good about life in these kind of games. So the Phoenix just putting the work in, doing what they're meant to do. And it gives you a little bit of freedom, because if the Terran can't reinforce properly, or if they lose out on some units, maybe it makes this push that much better. Siege tank going to get lifted up here. herO is going to commit straight on in. I don't know if ByuN can fight this. 4 Colossi is very powerful, and he has no real way of dealing with them unless he just powers through everything. And by powering through absolutely everything, he gives himself the opening to actually make this a play. But then he didn't get rid of the Colossi. Now he's still killed a lot, and he's going to have another dive on Colossi here. Now a second one of 4 have fallen. 2 left, 1 left. Colossus continue to die. It might just about be enough, as, oh my goodness, what a crazy little situation we just have breaking out on that one. As the Phoenix do eventually just back it up a little further, calling it maybe a little bit of a day for now. Yeah, that was a little bit of a wild little fight. The supplies are surprisingly even coming out of that. I really expected, obviously, maybe something of a one-sided situation from that result, but you know, the way it goes when your Terran breaks through to get on top of the tech units is always going to be scary for Protoss. You start losing your tech, and oftentimes you then get chased away. There's no recovering from that, but there was a recovery here. We actually got set back up pretty nicely. We kind of saved ourselves. We kind of saved ourselves, at least for a moment. Well, we've still got a long way to go. As we do have the Blink and the +2 coming up as well, so continuing through with those. The upgrades done from ByuN as well, so he will try and chase down further upgrades. Obviously, herO is leading on the upgrades. He is already leading on an upgrade by an armor upgrade. herO, you not care so much about armor if you're not playing like a Zealot force. Usually, armor is something you can kind of let slide for a little while, so don't think that's too much of an issue or anything. Because Zealots do show up and they do get rid of a few SCVs, so ByuN is going to take a little bit of damage on that one. But mine's going off, 4 probes going down, 8 SCVs still being picked. The army continues back on the other side, see a little bit more of what's going on. And Zealots still staying active for, well, as long as possible, obviously, they want to stay active for. I don't mind. Actually still here, going to blow up a few more probes, and this is going to turn into a very hectic game. It's becoming very busy, it's becoming very messy just in general. Yeah, hectic's definitely a good word for it, I think, right now, as we have the medevacs continuing to work through. See the Stalkers continue through. We just got a tank set up. Our medevac's going to load and evacuate elsewhere. Take a couple of moments on that one. Fire still sitting on the watchtower, so holding out there for a couple more moments too. As we see the Bioforce still just repositioning. herO has himself an interesting position where he's definitely being the aggressor. He's definitely put himself on the map, but I don't know if being the aggressor is necessarily all it's cut out to be right now. I'm not sure if that's really going to see like huge amounts of success here for him, as these few Stalkers are getting caught again, and that just feels like, again, another problem that is going to slowly arise. Knocks down some rocks, so hero's going to create a little bit more mobility around the map. Obviously, any way to kind of move around a little bit more easily is going to be much benefited. As Bio actually backstabs up the left side, so as herO has been so active himself, he's kind of not got anything to defend on the other side, so his base now in serious trouble, and suddenly this is much more of an issue than it was before. Disruptor shots go and pick off a siege tank, and now the Bioforce coming through, aiming for that Nexus already. And this is going to get rid of that. So that base goes down. That said, hero's going to find a base at least for himself. So he's going to find himself at least one base here to work from. So that's good. And the Disruptor shot coming in. Disruptor from both sides. Where we kill one, we're going to cut the Robo Facility too. Both players lost a lot of SCVs here, but I can't help but feel as though this has definitely turned into more of a win for ByuN. You can see the supply is definitely starting to favor ByuN a little bit more. He's up about 50 or so. It definitely feels like we're taking that kind of a turn right now, as ByuN gets himself into better and better position. A little bit of IO Ghost just going to set up one more time here. Medevac's trying to drop in. At least those get cleaned out, so that's a small victory on the side of herO. A little bit of a cleanup that he's able to gain for himself. A couple more Zealots going down. ByuN's still up about 40 supply, though, and I do think ByuN is really more or less on the verge of making something really happen here. Like, he is so close to being absolutely golden. And as he pushes forward, I think this might just about be it. Obviously, a couple of Vikings in the sky not really being shot down either, so that's part of the problem too. Immortals and a couple Stalkers left in the end. herO somehow pushes this back one more time. He's going to preserve his position. Well, I say preserve his position. He's not got much to preserve, but at least still alive in case there's a way to turn this around. I really don't think there is a way to turn this around. I think ByuN really is, you know, he's really got herO just completely out of touch in this one. I think this one is honestly long gone, but herO is going to try stick around for as long as possible. Of course, he's absolutely right to. You never know, maybe ByuN overcommits in one too many times, and maybe that's where the issue can arise or so. There's definitely potential, you know, for mistakes to happen, right? At the end of the day, this is StarCraft 2. Little mistakes can go such a long way to being a disaster, right? So, yeah, that's definitely not impossible. See how Zealots continuing around this left side now, so just going to move their way over there. And the ByuNs take a chance to get rid of a couple of Stalkers, making their way onto the Watchtower as well, so taking just even more control of the game. The more that we have, I think the better off we're generally going to find ourselves being. As ByuN, he's just taking away any sort of vision his opponent can have. All that kind of stuff is just being absolutely removed at the moment, so not allowed to happen. The EMP just going to land there as well, so a bit more damage dealt. The Marauder's coming up, the Ghost and the +3 attack upgrade coming through too. And again, the few Marauders just continuing their way out. Widowmines also, at this point, what can herO really do? I mean, the problem is as well, now he's taking this linear-based setup. He's going to be so spread out, so I feel like herO's going to have an issue there as well, where he's just all over the place compared to where he should be. Bio dives in, you see that Nexus is going to take a lot of damage. The Zealot's already taken quite a lot of shots. Stalker's continuing through as well, and I think this is absolutely looking to be a little bit too much right now, so doesn't seem as though things are getting any better here for herO, unfortunately. And like I say, I do think we've got ourselves a last couple of moments coming through. herO is still trying to hang on in there, and I mean, he's doing, again, better job than I think most would. But he's obviously losing so much production along the way, so many structures, you know, there's more to this game than just the unit counts and everything, right? So I think that makes a big difference right now as well, as you see the Immortal and a few Stalkers continue to go through for that. Aiming for a couple more units towards the end here. Marine Marauder still producing out, the Viking on the way. 4 probes have fallen from here on top of everything else that's already gone. His army supply is still somewhat competitive, right? Like, I still kind of want to say, you know, he's 65 to 81. I just feel like ByuN has the tech necessary to deal with what herO's got, as long as everything's together. And of course, ByuN can also sacrifice SCVs to tank a little bit. Chasing forward here in EMP would be nice, soften some things up. He also has 3-2 to 2-1 upgrades as herO is still pressing forward, somehow still making this look as though there might be a chance if you ignore the numbers. But of course, we know he's got basically nothing behind this as well. No reinforcements. The Widowmine blows up a Colossus just for a little bit of snare. Bam, bam, thank you, and all the rest at the end. GG's. The top right-hand corner of the map, where Blue Protoss will be behind by a map in this best-of-5 series. This is herO from Dragon Kaiser Gaming. In the bottom left, our Red Terran from the Shopify Rebellion. Done. And number 2. Hey, ByuN played a pretty solid game last time around. Was very much so on top of things, did what he needed to. I was pretty impressed with how ByuN played it. I thought that was very nice for him. Well, we got ourselves a barracks on the way. No, a probe across here quickly, just nibbling. Obviously, we had a proxy last time that set ByuN off to a good start. This time around, herO wants to make sure he's extremely aware of anything that might be happening or not, so just double checking on those things straight away is definitely not a bad call. ourselves the probe. Still just going to stick around, obviously, for a little bit as well. So we'll have a little bit of fun here. Just chilling over on the sides. A couple of moments. Get that all set up. The SCVs pull in. A little bit more damage being done. Just for the first few moments. See, we can continue to see where everything will go just a little bit. CC does go down. Factory's already started as well, so we'll get ourselves into a fairly, again, pretty regular setup, one that we're fairly familiar with. Yo, coffee for you. Thank you so much for the 3-month resub on the Prime. Thanks for all the cast and no worries. Thank you so much for supporting the stream today. Obviously, this is a WardiTV tournament. These events are powered by you guys. If you do like what you're seeing, do consider supporting it by subscribing, guys, or using your, use your primes, etc. Anything helps. And obviously, if you're really enjoying, you can of course donate and stuff as well. I was actually going to say is if you end up watching this on YouTube, which is a possibility. Then do consider hitting the like and subscribe button on there, because that obviously helps us out a whole bunch too. We mentioned that one a fair amount of the time. Yeah, so check that out if you have a chance, as this Reaper is going to get chased around a little. Hey, thank you so much, Dinosaur OB, for the 11-month resub on the Tier 2 as well. One step ahead. Thank you so much, as the SCV finishes the command center just in time to slip into the command center for safety. Well, that's definitely one way to do it. That is definitely one way to do it. Reaper Heli and the Marine now popping out. Yeah, a couple of gateways coming down, the blink coming up. Let's just take a few moments to resettle ourselves here. And again, gateways, the robo facility continue now to also continue bringing this through. As you just see our extra gateways producing in. Again, blink about halfway done right now. Our robo facility now, gateways all continuing by just for the moment. Yeah, thank you so much, Alatrion, for the 7-month resub as well. Also, as I mentioned previously, much appreciated. Thank you so much. Starboard on the way, again, that Banshee and Cloaking coming up. Something a little bit different for us. Absolutely a little bit different, isn't it? When a mine drop comes in, herO is going to respond pretty quickly to that, pulling away with pretty much immediate effect, so nothing too wild out of that one. And yeah, things should just continue to be chill for a couple of moments. Obviously, with the Banshee coming up, very tech heavy from ByuN. We'll see if he can make that style succeed for him, or if there may be some issues along the way, as we just have the medevac coming in. Widowmine will unload again. It is going to get burrowed, and herO clearly thought it was going to die. 7 probes. Thank you very much. We take those. Absolutely we do. The Stalker's now in the main base, though, so herO's going to be focusing on this attack. Can that be enough for him? Can this go well enough to make up for some damage taken back on the other side? Well, we are very quickly about to find out, that's for sure. I'm just seeing our defense coming in. Cost us 10 SCVs initially, but we do push back pretty much every Stalker, right? So in that regard, it's not so bad. Then you got the Banshees coming up, so they're going to be an interesting little harassment technique now as well, to see if they can maybe make a difference. Already across the map, going in for a few probes. Stalker is going to blink across, looking for the siege tank though, and if we get rid of the tank, we really dislodge the kind of defense here, and maybe that could cause some trouble as well. As 9 probes, 7 SCVs all going down as well. Damage continues to build. Well, the Banshee at least is putting in some work, and herO doesn't have an immediate response to it. That's kind of the beauty of this situation for ByuN, is that it's difficult for herO to have an answer to absolutely everything that's going on, right? And that's obviously absolutely the case right now, as you see the Stalk is still going to work. And still trying to find Marines, the tank, and all the rest. Just seeing if there's any opportunity to get more damage done right here. There's a couple Stalkers continue back over, and the Banshee's still going in this main base. Battery's about to be out of energy, so you're going to lose even more probes, and I think this might be going off the rails a little bit here from herO. I think he might... I mean, he's still doing damage on the other side, but I think ByuN's got him more dead to rights than herO has ByuN. I think that's the way that this is lining up at the end here. Unfortunately, it's just not quite turning out to be enough for our Protoss player. Seeing the tank and the +1 upgrade coming through. We get another Chrono Boost on a few pros. Continue to bring those out as well. Stalkers are back in the natural expansion, so here we go again. Once more, back to action, getting busy, getting aggressive. We have our Stalkers going to fight against a few of those Marines. The Banshee taking a few more shots as well. Combat shield +1 stim. A lot of different bits and pieces of production continue to produce. Now, Prism and Charge coming up, so here is getting something of a transition out of this, despite this maybe not going so well for him so far. He is going to still try and have that next step, so as he gets a few more Stalkers around the sides here, we're going to have ourselves the couple moments is getting settled. The game really does settle for a few moments as well, right? I mean, herO was just throwing units constantly at ByuN, and ByuN was obviously constantly harassing herO as well, so a couple moments of calm again before the storm resumes, perhaps. Not going to complain. But I don't like chaos, but I mean, has been, like I say, a busy enough game thus far. Don't think we necessarily need to be going for too much extra. Stalkers in the back. Prism is got to be careful of the missile turret. Doesn't want to lose that for no reason at all. So, again, a little bit of caution being shown. As we just have the Banshee taking a couple more shots also. Just about getting pushed out of there. Will not run into too much trouble in the end. And that Robo Facility kill Chrono boosting out a Prism. So again, that Prism up and running too. A Bioforce going to go back out and forwards. Storm, Chrono boosting along. Slowly getting there. Let's just have again a couple of Zealots coming by for a little bits of damage, nothing too serious. Storm Chrono boosting through. Medivacs and Marauders continue to build. We have our Bioforce continuing up as well. Just seeing ourselves the Bio still taking some little bits of damage here and there, but obviously in general should be looking pretty good. Zealots coming over. Marauder taking some damage already. And just going to see this Bioforce stemming up into the center. So in we go. Zealots taking some damage. You can see the Storm's coming down. Going to hit the Bio pretty hard as well. So that's also going to hurt a little bit. Bio turns back around and we'll have our Prism just microing through as herO tries to some way, somehow clean this up. It obviously looks pretty unrealistic right now to actually clean this out and to actually push this back in full, or at least in a way that kind of gives him a game, you know, a position to play from again. He's down 20 workers, he's down 30 army supply. herO is scrapping, but I will be surprised if it's truly going to be enough. I do not see it. I do not see it. Bioforce gonna come moving forward. Armor coming up, engineering bay coming through. To knock down the observer as the single marine is going to get blasted by a couple of zealots. The prism going to come through as well, looking to try and get some storms to give you a bit of hope. I mean, the storms have been one of the reasons why ByuN hasn't quite, fully closed out the game with some of these attacks. We're getting there though. It's slowly happening. Couple stories come through. SCVs will still take some shots. So more of these SCVs continue to go down. The Bioforce still coming through. The Widowmine actually kills a Stalker as it tries to blink away. herO, you're making this painful for yourself, buddy. This does not need to be like this. We can just round this one out, you know. When mine goes off, Zealot gets hit. There's a couple more Widow Mines going through, of course. We got those Storms hunting. There's units are stacked, but the Prism goes down. The EMP is good on the High Templar, man. That is absolutely a moment to hold your breath in, but no issue for ByuN. 2-0 lead, and our Terran 2. Our Red Protoss player's base in the bottom right side. From Dragon Kaiser Gaming, herO. And the top left, Blue Terran from the Shopify Rebellion, ByuN. Game number 3 of this best of 5. Get this up and running. I can see an SCV already moving across the other side here, so looking to get a little bit adventurous straight away. Coming up, Cybercore on the way through as well. We just got ourselves again established here for a couple of moments, so a little bit of building, a little bit of getting going. Nexus and the Cybercore continue to come through just for a couple of moments then. As we do have again the Nexus just coming up on that third location. The engineering bay block was good from ByuN. Was able to get that going nice and quickly. Good job, well done on that one. As you have again the warp gate coming up as well, so just continue to bring that through. The Stalker and so on, all coming into play. Just see our factory ready to land back down onto this, and again just kind of work from there for a few moments as it gets settled in this stage of the game. Factory is going to go onto the reactor. And yeah, just going to start building up a couple of Hellions. That's going to be our starting point right now. Get going from there. Hellions come through, Reaper coming up, Twilight Council is on the way. All that goodness. Just coming by for the moment as we do see this command center built on the sides here as well. And that's settled for the next few moments. So, again, all of that up and running. Again, our starboard building, our Twilight Council coming through. And our warp gate coming up as well. So, again, plenty in play right now. As 2 Stalkers and a Zealot will begin to move out onto the natural. And with the proxy of ByuN out on the map, potential for some danger further down the line. It's going to be a Liberator, though, because he clearly doesn't feel like he can get the Hellions across with this pressure of herO, so he's just going to make it a... yeah, he's just going to make it a Liberator onto the other side, which definitely an interesting choice. Don't hate it, I don't think. I think in general, obviously, you want that proxy a medevac and you get the Hellions in, but clearly that ain't happening here, so if it ain't happening, move to other things, you know? Nothing wrong with that. There's our blink. Starts up. That's going to be the tech for herO following off from his opening, which is going to be, you know, just, you know, there's a little bit of pressure on the ground and everything, so getting himself going himself, you know, figuring out what it is he wants to exactly be doing here. As again, blink's about halfway done already. Probe facility still coming up. The gateway is still in production. A couple more probes soon to be out. And yeah, the Liberator is still just kind of sitting tight and waiting for an opportunity, apparently. Not going to go too far just yet, so sitting chilling. Let's try and run into the third base location, which is obviously just the natural, of course. We had to build it here because of the engineering bay block, but yeah, it doesn't exactly get very far anyway, so not much to come from there. So, you know, Hellions actually do get in this time around, though. Actually going to get in for a few more probes as the Liberator takes attention away. And herO is not having a hot start to this game number 3. This might just be ByuN. I mean, okay, obviously ByuN did commit a lot to this early, remember, guys? I think that's absolutely worth keeping in mind that ByuN did have to make this a, you know, he was a one-base opening, so he was initially delayed on what he was doing, so yeah, definitely keep that in mind as well, I think. As you just see the Marines and the factory still producing through. Prism's going to come in. Stalker's going to blink straight in for that siege tank. We're going to get it pretty quickly there. Tank will go down. The Stalkers continue to fight. Marines and a couple of SCVs will be pulling away once more. So Stalkers warp in. This is herO's opportunity still as this tank not going to last very long. There's a bunker nearby. Next tank will just have to single target fire these Stalkers, but it's a shame to lose 2 tanks so quickly. Obviously, losing 2 in quick succession makes your continued kind of life a lot more difficult. That might be the bigger problem here in general for ByuN, as these Stalkers continue to blink away, staying alive on very low HP, some of them. I mean, the Banshee comes back from the other side as well. It's going to try and help out, and, well, to be fair, the last few moments, the Stalker count has been decimated. Without Stalkers, is there any further pressure? Do we actually maybe stabilize a little bit as ByuN? Maybe this could actually still be all right for him. Maybe some way, somehow, there's a way. As our Stalkers get ready to blink up toward the high ground. And they're going to do just that right now. And they go. Tank is going to fire. Stalker's already taking some damage. So Marines are going to be there. Going to knock one Stalker down straight away. So a nice little grab on that. Nice little kill. ByuN still has good work account. Obviously, he has to pull a lot of SCVs to defend all the time, so he's not mining perfectly off the workers that he has, but I would generally say he's doing enough to stay in a reasonable position. Stalker still coming through, Prism as well, getting ready to maybe hop up and toward that main base. Next couple of moments, looking for more damage. There's another tank here. We'll have to wait for the blink probably to be able to truly jump on top of that. A few moments away on that as the Marines will be nearby, and we do have our Marines taking a little bit more damage. Zealots are still nearby as well. Again, warped in. Try and really commit to this then. With the Zealots, you're really saying, hey, I want to move forward. I want to get something of a trade, although he lifts them back up in the Prism, which makes sense. If the Stalkers can blink out, you can still evacuate the Zealots via the Warp Prism, and then that should overall be a net benefit for you. Stalkers in the Prism continue to move away. Again, another engineering bay just finishing up on this natural expansion, so gets that set as well. Stalkers blink up, and SCV goes down. Engineering bay starts to take some hits. Stalkers continue to just go after the refinery, so refinery taking quite a bit of damage right here. Marines continue to fight back. A couple of SCVs have already been dropped. We have got ourselves the, well, ByuN defense continuing. ByuN's actually ahead on supply, though. I mean, it does feel as though herO needs a little bit more something. And that something might just be the Dark Shrine. He's bringing it into play right here. Getting that Dark Shrine underway. Like I say, maybe that's the deal breaker, right? Like, get some DTs in and catch ByuN a little bit more off guard. and just stop him from re-establishing the advantage that he currently seems to be getting back into at the moment. Because, yeah, right now he definitely just seems to be kind of doing as he wishes. And having a fairly good time of that, that's for sure. Like I say, he's had to continuously defend, but getting to the point where, like I say, I'm not sure how much that's going to matter as things do stabilize up for the Terran. The more SCVs go down, the Stalker's becoming less and less effective with every single blink at this point. They really are. They're just becoming worse and worse and worse. Dark Shrine about to finish up. Nexus and +1 coming through. Just got that Nexus still building. For a moment or so. Seeing a couple more slices and dices. Combat shield is actually burning at the moment, so not exactly ideal either, but not the end of the world, I would say. We're still a fairly playable spot. Fire Force coming back through and just having the combat shield +1 armor. Concussor shells building up as well. We do have ourselves the extended thermal Landstein up. The Colossus on the way. herO is on 4 bases behind this. That's the one thing that might become the biggest issue of all. That might actually become the the biggest issue of them all, right? The fact that herO just has so many bases already. And he's definitely exploded in work as the last few moments as well. Like, he has just popped up in that supply as ByuN comes across. Going to find a DT at least, so we'll be able to nab that. So that is one small victory. Zealots and sentries still moving by themselves, and we got ourselves a few ghosts coming up. +1 armor upgrade still coming through. Process +2 extended thermal lance, all of the numbers building right now from herO, and I do think this is where ByuN falls back a little bit if he doesn't get himself something done now. He's been the defender for a long time, and herO's starting to actually take advantage of the fact that ByuN has been the defender for so long at this stage, so begin to get himself into a better setup. Robo facility in the Forge still coming up, the next coming through. The Zealots, DT, and the +2 attack upgrade coming by as well. Handful of Stalkers just spread around the map. Tell you what, herO's map vision is very impressive. He's got vision everywhere. There is not really a lot of ways for ByuN to really kind of, get across to the other side without being seen or anything. So herO's definitely not going to give himself up in that regard. He is extremely well prepared for this setup. As the Stalkers do continue to back it up, so they escape away for a couple of moments. And the few Zealots continue in. So it's taking a lot of damage. A couple of ghosts are here. The Zealots will get picked away at, so and so far so good in terms of the damage being done. We got ourselves a Disruptor popping out as well. I mean, more units, the more tech units you have here as herO, the better this fight is likely going to go in the next few moments, and absolutely heading into a great spot for that, it would seem. Gonna knock down some rocks. ByuN is going to try and make that dive across the map. We've been kind of mentioning this idea of if you can get across the other side, maybe there's some hope. Maybe there's something he can do. I still think his army supply is competitive before herO really blew up. Is it too late? Those are great EMPs. All the Zealots are going to be hurt going in. The tanks may want to turn their attention onto the Colossi. Not sure what ByuN's plan is. His supply right now is looking good army-wise, and he will begin to chase. The problem is you're chasing into 4 Colossi of Splash still, and it doesn't matter which way you look at it. 4 Colossi of Splash is still going to be a lot of Splash. Disruptor shot. Not actually going to find too much in the end, as the extra round of Zealots are going to be the issue. That's the one thing ByuN really cannot deal with right now. He cannot stop these Zealots from just being way too much. And yeah, for that, he really has to just back away and just sort of say, yep, okay. fall back. Didn't really get through the Colossi. That's what you needed to win this as ByuN. You needed to get those Colossi down. Without getting those Colossi down, this looks to be a pretty big issue once again, as now a couple of Disruptors coming up, but yeah, I just don't see what you, I actually really don't see what you really do from here. This is going to be a difficult scenario, as that Colossi will come by and just fire up a few shots. Missile turret's going to be taking a few hits as well. Disruptor shot fires through, clips a couple of Marauders and a Marine already. So just picking those off. Disruptor is still building, the gateway is still coming up. We got ourselves a couple of Vikings, Marauders, and Marines coming by. And the Vikings starting to get onto the Colossus here as Disruptors come through. Side, taking a few more shots, and yeah, ByuN's just going to be never breaking his way through that. So herO is going to have himself a map on the board. We are not going to have this series. In the bottom left-hand side, our blue Terran player still in the lead, 2-1. It is going to be ByuN. Takes on in the top right, the red Protoss player from Dragon Kaizi Gaming. herO bringing it back. Bringing it back, making a series of this. That's what we want. We want a series. We want to fight. We want these guys to be competitive. Well, that's exactly what we're going to get right now. As the probe comes through, a couple of SCVs are going to get a nibbling. Some damage being dealt. As our probes continue to nibble up on those SCVs just for a few moments. And the barracks is on the way as well on the side of ByuN, so bringing that through too. As we get set and ready. The SCV comes across, and the probe will take a little bit more damage. So some shots going down, some damage being dealt. SCV and the probe going back and forward a little bit here. Reaper's continuing through. Orbital Command's about halfway done. Zealot, Nexus, Cybercore, all producing along for the moment. As I do have our Reaper just halfway through, and waiting to see what the next step of everything is going to be. Again, if ByuN wins this, he'll be guaranteed quarterfinals in our Summer Championship. If he loses this, then obviously the result comes down to what happens between Cure and herO. What would be really good for us is to make sure that this isn't a 3-1, because, well, I guess if it's 3-1 in ByuN's favor, I guess it's actually going to be okay either way, because either herO wins 3-2 or ByuN wins 3-1, but either way there's going to be a difference in map scores in some of the series. That should mean we avoid tiebreakers, so I think no matter what, we're going to be able to avoid tiebreakers here, which is obviously very good. As that Reaper grabs a probe, we do see the Stalker again, a couple of shots off, just chasing away for a couple of moments. And the Zealot and the Adept together are going to start to slice and dice their way through a supply depot, so a little bit of extra damage being dealt over there as well. The SCV just pulls back. Command Center finishing, morphing into an orbital. He did go high ground CC for safety. It does make moments like this a lot better for you, because now you don't have to worry anywhere near as much about, you know, dealing with this sort of stuff. You're just kind of going to be okay. The Reaper hiding into the main base. Grenade goes down, just pops the Stalker to the side, and Reaper will go down. But Full Scout gets all of the information possible, so in that regard, you got to be pretty happy. Anyways, right, full information is pretty good information, that's for sure. Couple Widow Mines getting set up. Brains going through. And the medevac coming up as well, as a couple of Widow Mines will be burrowing for a few moments, so getting all set. We have our Blink still chrono boosting along, Warp Gate coming up, and Marines coming forward here. That Widow Mine will have to unburrow and reburrow, and now the Adept continues to take some damage as well. The boom, the Adept will fall. So that is one Adept down already here. A couple of Stalkers begin to knock onto the Orbital Command, so again, knocking away. Can we chip through that? That would be great if we could. Meantime, just come back across. Stalker will be shot down. The next Stalker will fall as well. It's just going to pick that off too. Another bunker will try and get placed in the front. herO still making just trying to make ByuN's life as difficult as possible. The tank comes down. Bunker will get established. And those few Marines just begin to move a little bit back and forth as well. Still trying to figure out what it is that they're going to get up to here. As the prism finishes, Blink is on the way. Hub's coming up, charge on the way through. Just got ourselves the medevac pulling back once again. And these two Stalkers are going to get ready to blink up into this main base with the prism. So in we go. Blinking straight through, and again, really desperate to deal damage here. Maybe not desperate. I think just trying to be very opportunistic, right? At any possible moment, we're trying to get damage done as herO, which is fine. You know, you've got these units, and in theory, 4 Stalkers and a prism shouldn't lose out at all. So if you get a few SCVs for it, then brilliant. And that's exactly what goes down. So yeah, actually brilliant way to set up in that regard. It works out quite nicely. Let's see the 3 Stalkers lifting up again. The Marines and the tank come over. The prism evacuates. Nexus continues on the 3rd base. Again, the lib +1 stim. All good stuff that is being brought into play for the moment. Getting all of that underway. Our prism will unload now. A few Stalkers on the side. SCVs are pulling. ByuN going to commit. Well, if you're going to commit to an all-in, this is a fantastic start by killing off a siege tank. From herO's point of view, if your opponent's committed to an all-in, you get rid of one of their power units straight away. If ByuN had seen a little bit sooner, repairing the tank a little earlier might have actually kept it alive, which would have obviously been really cool as well. As observers are going to get targeted down here. Both of those were just kind of with the army there, so that was a little awkward as well. First tank low. SCVs can repair that tank now, though, and Stalkers from the other side are still trying to cut off reinforcements. I don't think ByuN has enough to justify having SCV pulled here. Stalkers just blink on top. First tank goes down. The Marines are not doing much. This absolutely looks as though we are going to have ourselves, well, a cleanup and a game 5. herO is going to tie it 2-2, and we are going to go the... So I'll be doing that later on. For now, we have our blue Terran player in the bottom left corner from the Shopify Rebellion. This is ByuN. Taking on our red Protoss in the top right. From Dragon, Kaisi Gaming, this will be herO. Going the full distance. There's always a lot of fun as a probe and an SCV. I'm going to jump onto each other. Well, the SCV gets jumped on by the probe more than anything, but the SCV for a moment was like, I fight back! As obviously we try and get this barracks up without too much delay. It's going to be one of your main goals. SCV just going to take a few more shots. Obviously, the probe will regenerate shields, whereas the SCV does not regenerate. It would have to be manually repaired, which is going to cost you a bit of money and so on. Generally, you don't want to be doing that, so just trying to stay clear of it for the moment. Probe is gonna come back around, still scouting about a little bit, seeing a bit more of what is going on. Just have a Marine in the orbital coming up. Command Center will go down in the corner of this main base, so just gets that set. The probe is going to sit here with that SCV for a few moments, and we are going to have the Marine moving through, chasing down, and looking to pick off that probe. So just going to chase that away. Next is Cybercore, Command Center to the factory. All of that continues up just for the moment. So far, so good. Obviously game 5, and herO is just seeing what's up on the other side. ByuN again playing fairly safe by putting the command center in the main base. Does not want to have to deal with too much pressure and too much aggression in those early stages. Just trying to stay clear of any of those problems, for example. So yeah, just staying well clear of that. And having ourselves the Adept moving down to the bottom left-hand corner. Also just looking for whatever scout information is available. Which is kind of what the Hellion is on the way for from ByuN as well. Typically a Hellion just gets across the map, tries to dive in. If you can spot the Twilight Council, for example, then brilliant. Especially in a game where you've been playing no Reaper, so you have no idea what's been going on thus far. You know, you're completely blind in terms of what's happened this far. So yeah, definitely a good time to aim towards that. Is the Hellion is going to get the probe, and the few Marines are going to sit there against the Adept. And again, this is where herO will just push back a little bit. A little bit of this early gateway unit pressure will just start through. And the Hellion actually goes down, so there goes our scout unit. We will lose an Adept. The Widowmine should be able to face, push the Stalker back a little bit too, so shouldn't be any real issues on that one. And so do you have a couple Marines and the Widowmine together joining back up on this high ground. A couple more Marines coming across. Again, the Blink and the Warp Gate still coming through for the moment. A couple of Marines in the Siege Tank building up as well. So the Medivac will boost straight across to the other side of the map. Let's see if ByuN can find any pressures. It's going to go past the Watchtower, which is not held by anything, so obviously it's not going to be seen from the Watchtower at least. You should know something is due to arrive, however, right? It's that typical Terran timing where things are just about ready to go and blow stuff up on the other side. Your mineral lines are about to be in trouble. These things you just got to be aware of course, as herO, as the Medivac does show up and the Widowmine loads. As the probes pull away from the mine to the left side, the Marines actually body blocked the probes there. I was going to say, I actually don't think that would have been a bad moment to... Okay, this was actually a great shot anyways. I don't think that would have been a bad moment to just let the Widowmine fire, because I think he would have gotten all the probes, but then he got all those probes anyway. The only benefit could have maybe been he would have got more probes with the other Marines on the other side. But then the Widowmine fired for a Stalker and 2 additional probes on top from the gas. So actually, pretty much ideal, because that's still... I mean, a Stalker kill, especially off a Widowmine shot, is really good. That goes such a long way. That is so useful. I mean, that really hurts for herO, so herO is not going to be loving that in the slightest. As a few Stalkers continue to make their way back down to the south. Barracks, bunker, tech lab continuing up the tank, and a couple more Marines all building through as well. A lot of that's still coming in right now. As we do have our bunker, just going to fire up, and a few of those Stalkers taking damage. Get rid of one around the back there, and now going to get rid of the refinery as well, so just going to pick that up. Tank will siege, and the Stalkers have to be a little careful as they continue to back away there. Bang, bang, a couple of Stalkers going down. The Stalkers do end up blinking away in the end, just backing out of there. Getting out for the moment, as we just have Deliberate getting some kills too, so both players losing a few SCVs, a few probes, just for the moment. Stalkers will fire up on this supply depot, so some damage being dealt. And combat shield, stim pack, all of that continues to build on through here. Upgrades looking pretty good across the board. Prism coming up, Robo Base still coming through also. So again, just some little bits and pieces on that. Continuing in right now. The Stalkers look as though they want to jump up to this high ground perhaps. Maybe get some action up over here as they blink away in just a few moments. Prism comes back in, again by a force nearby, as we're going to get over there. The Prism already getting pushed back immediately. Command Center drops down, a few Stalkers continue to warp. Battery is going to finish very shortly too. So then that completed. So you have, with all the upgrades from ByuN, maybe some, opportunity to get out and onto the map. We're boosting up our charge, obviously a nice addition to have. Obviously charge is always going to be good. No one's going to tell you otherwise on that one, that's for sure. Charge is always going to be good. Great upgrade. Makes those zealots so freaking annoying. So a couple forges come up again. Colossus, extended thermal lance, and the charge upgrade continue to build in for the moment. This medevac continues to slip up the left-hand side. So we do have potential drop from ByuN in the top corner of the map. Could be one to keep our eyes on, of course. Something to watch for. The rest of the bio just still coming about. A little bit of bio getting through there for some damage as we just clear out the watchtower as well, which is always nice. Clear out the watchtower, and a little bit of vision going through. And +1 attack, +1 armor, extended thermal lance. All of this continuing to produce at the moment. Medevac boost through. He's going to be seeing the prism there, and that's just going to turn back around. ByuN doesn't feel like he can get enough to justify the commitment in. Side firing up, a couple of Marines taking some shots. We get pushed back a little. Our Marines will land onto this pylon, so again, looking for a little bit extra here. Mostly just little pickoffs without committing too much is generally a big win for ByuN. Continues into 2-1 upgrades, has a third base down here, moving to a fourth. One thing I will say is that just to me, ByuN's kind of game hasn't been so super aggressive or anything, right? It's been fairly passive overall. Being pretty chilled out in that regard, I would say. Seeing our Nexus continuing through, the Ghost Academy is about to be done. And just having ourselves a couple extra gateways coming up. Our Stalkers and Disruptor continue through for the moment. 1-1 upgrades. Also not far from finishing here as a couple extra gates come out. We do actually knock down a hallucination already. So hallucination goes down on top of everything else. Ghost still in production, +2 attack and +1 armor, producing along. Our gateways will finish in the main base, and obviously 4 bases across the board at the moment from herO. ByuN sitting on 3, making his way towards a 4th. Altogether here, it's been a fairly passive game. Like, yeah, we had some harass and so on, but the game really slows down right now, you know? This is a much slower going game than it has been otherwise. I guess it's not too unnatural. We have SCVs continuing through, Disruptor continue to produce, 2-2 upgrades all on the way in. Next it goes down that gold base to get that 5th base ready right here. Get that started up straight away. And man, again, hero's map control is just bonkers. It's kind of true in the earlier game as well. I think I mentioned it. It's like, yeah, he has inside Delta, he had just vision everywhere. And that is true once again right now. There is just map vision all over the place. So herO really kind of gets to see everything. CVs continue to build away. A few mules coming through. The Zealot gets pushed back. We'll see both players playing into that late game tech. Dark Shrine Disruptors, a typical late game combo from the Protoss. Terran just getting some more tech in the form of a few Vikings. Obviously his upgrades coming in as well. So all of that just continues up. Go blink through. The medevac gets picked off. We do have the rest of this bio still moving into between the bases. Three upgrades now on the way. +2 armor about to finish. Gain a couple more Vikings, but also the fusion core from ByuN. Advanced ballistics, liberator range is going to be a big part of late game TVP, right? If you can get yourself up into some lib range, that's amazing. The Colossus goes down here as they skirmish around the center of the map. As ByuN moves up, he's going to be able to deny the gold base mining from herO, although that's been mining for a while. The Prism gets shot down, only the Zealots that were inside get to unload, so no warp-in is actually a pretty big deal. Obviously, warp-ins in these scenarios are pretty powerful, so it's actually good to be able to get on top of that quickly, as the EMPs do scatter across a lot of those Stalkers. And now we push our way through. A couple cannons already in trouble. The battery's taking the shots. The couple Zealots still in the main base, not being dealt with fully just yet. Firefire's back. Couple sentries getting shot. Couple disruptors coming through once again. Just having ourselves still. Disruptor shot after disruptor shot coming through. The Stalkers shoot down some Vikings. The Bio Army continues to come over. And one getting knocked down. We've got our Liberators coming up. Our Advanced Ballistics coming through as well. 3-3 upgrades still in production. Shadow Stride finishes up. Obviously, that's going to give us a pretty cool option as well. Give those DTs a chance to blink around the map, so that should be something we can keep our eyes on as well. Stalkers blink forward. Marines and Marauders coming through. Another Disruptor shot comes in. Still seeing those extra DTs building through. Again, the +3 attack about to finish up. We'll give herO a little bit of an upgrade. Oh my goodness, we jump on so many Disruptors. We dive forward onto more of them. Holy crap. That was a lot of dead Disruptors. That was like 7-ish Disruptors going down. Quite a few of those falling pretty quickly. The Disruptor shot goes down. Medevac's up in the skies. CC is going to lift off. Relocate. The DTs are still set around the left side as well from herO. So, still looking to bring those through. And Advanced Ballistics building up. +3 armor coming in. That's even going to be the Caduceus reactor. The Caduceus reactor, which is the Medevac upgrade now. So it increases the energy regen rate of Medevacs by 100%. So it basically means your Medevacs are almost never going to be out of energy for healing. You can heal all day and all night long with those Medevacs, that's for sure. See how our Bio going to get through there. We actually lose the base to the DTs. However, we're actually starting to kill quite a few of the DTs. Now we're going to dive in. Liberators get sieged up on this army. The Colossi will not last long. The sentries have no energy either. Did ByuN just lose a little bit too much ahead of time here? Maybe. See, Colossus and our few Stalkers continue to back away. Going to get one more SCV just for a moment as well. And this army of herO continues to fall back. As GTs get warped in, we will see our +2 ship weapons coming through. Liberators coming out. A lot of setting up still being done right now as we have ByuN trying to hold on, but I think herO might be on his way to the complete reverse kill in this. As we just have a couple Colossi firing through. The Ghost taking some damage. EMP going down. The DT still coming forward. Scans coming through to help. Obviously the EMPs go a long way. And a couple Liberator shots still pushing by. We are going to see ourselves the couple Disruptors, the couple Libs on either side. I mean, supplies are still fairly even. I'm just worried for, ByuN in the sense of he doesn't really have... Yeah, he doesn't really have the army supply. He doesn't even have the worker supply, army supply. He doesn't really have the worker count or the base count to really keep mining and to keep going. So he's got the army supply right now. And he kind of needs to go and use this army supply right now. Otherwise, I don't see this ending well for him. So, I guess we'll see what happens here. See a couple Liberators sieged up. Our Disruptor start to go down. Liberators are doing a lot, taking a long time to go down. Bio's going to dive forward, looking for the Colossi. 95 to 32 army supply. ByuN might have just done it as he continues forward. Stalkers get chased. Probes are going down. Pylon is likely going to fall. No warp in here. One Stalker got away from this fight. ByuN had the army advantage, and he took the army advantage. And he has worked this army advantage just like that. Couple extra Liberators sieging up. And I think this is now an unbreakable position. Man, those Liberators initially did so much. They sieged in such a good position. And they got so much damage across the course of the fight. Just holding down that choke point was absolutely huge. Well, few zealots now continuing to chase across the map as herO looks for some sort of reprieve from the damage that he has taken, but I don't think he's going to find it. Obviously, you can see production. ByuN is building a bit of everything still. herO's building a whole lot of nothing as we do kill off 4 disruptors back to back to back to back right there. And ByuN just continues to chase on through. herO just needs to survive one attack, let that economy come into play, let those bases do their job. And he just couldn't quite find that. He couldn't quite make it happen, and that is what leads us to this. Game number 5. Going the way of ByuN. herO very nearly had the complete reverse kill here. Like I say, just not quite enough in the end. That will do it. ByuN will be first place of this group guaranteed. And herO versus Cure